Hi, this is Valeria and welcome to my new video. If you're struggling with binge eating or just generally feel out of control when it comes to food, you're in the right place. Today, I'll walk you through the exact strategy I used to stop binge eating once and for all, without the help of a registered dietitian or a nutritionist. Instead, I focused on changing my thinking, which changed my behavior and ultimately led to building healthier habits. These small but powerful mind shifts took me from food obsession to food freedom. Let's dive right in. Principle number 1, patience and flexibility. In the beginning, I had no idea it would take me at least 2 years before I truly feel good about my food intake. But I accepted that I needed to be ready for however long it would take and to be flexible along the way. I had to approach it like a long-term investment in myself, not a quick fix. Instead of making big, sweeping changes that would overwhelm my brain, I focused on small daily actions. Every day I asked myself, what does my body need today? I made it clear to myself that it's okay to adjust as I go. This mindset allowed me to prime myself well for making gradual changes without feeling the pressure to be perfect. Principle number 2, shift from beauty to health. Like many millennials, I grew up seeing unrealistic beauty standards in magazines. My mindset used to be fixated on weight loss, and I often would tie my self-worth to how I looked. But this time, 2 years ago, I stopped making food choices based on aesthetics or a number on a scale and instead focused on what would nourish my body for long-term health. This shift in mindset was critical because it made my progress sustainable. When I removed the pressure to be thin and instead focused on being healthy, I started making food choices that supported my long-term well-being as opposed to sabotaging it. Principle number 3, introduce instead of restricting. This mind shift was a game changer for me. Instead of restricting foods, which only triggered cravings and frustration, I focused on introducing positive behaviors. One of the first changes I made was eating greens daily. Whether it was a kale smoothie, a spinach salad, or some spring mix on the side of my meal, I made sure to get those greens in every day, no matter what. I didn't immediately cut out sweets or junk food. Over time, though, by consistently introducing healthier options, my cravings started to change naturally. Eventually, I was enjoying a daily kale smoothie and a cup of miso soup to get some fermented veggies in to boost my gut health. I didn't need to force out the bad stuff because my body began to crave the good. Principle number 4, use visual imagery to reduce sugar intake. Another key step for me was educating myself on long-term effects of sugar and refined carbs. I learned about how high sugar intake can lead to fat accumulation, particularly visceral fat, and lead to increased risk of chronic disease. Every time I reached for dessert, I used that knowledge to visualize these long-term consequences. Did I still eat the dessert? Yes, especially in the beginning. But over time, I found myself getting that chocolate almond croissant not to binge on, but instead to save it for later, maybe after a meal. Eventually, I transitioned to keto, and now I still have that occasional dessert, but only when I know it'll fit into my today's carb intake. This allows me to indulge in a mindful way without the guilt. Principle number 5, track everything and be honest with yourself. Lastly, tracking my bodily functions has become a huge part of my journey. I have been using MyFitnessPal for 8 years now to track my food intake. I track my steps using wearable trackers like Apple Watch, before it was Fitbit, and it also helps me to track my sleep to know the quality of sleep I got for the night. I also weigh in every single day using a Fitbit ARIA scale, which also suggests an estimated fat percentage in my body. Some might call it neuroticism, but for me, it is about being honest with myself. It is not about obsessing, it is about awareness. There have been times when I was consuming over 6,000 calories a day, like back in December 2020. Even then, I was detailing everything I was eating because I needed to know what my body was going through. Sometimes data guided my decisions, other times it didn't. But having that information available allowed me to approach my body with love and acceptance instead of guilt and shame. And those are the 5 principles that helped me stop binge eating and change my mindset to build healthier, sustainable habits. If you found this video helpful or inspiring, please do let me know in the comments below. Please also let me know in the comments below if you are interested in another video that would outline more specific steps that I took to stop binge eating throughout those 2 years. I am grateful for each and every one of you who watches, and I can't wait to continue this journey together. Till next time.